in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RaceDudes.com, and welcome back to our first Breeders' Cup Classic Top 5 rankings. We do a lot of Top 5 rankings on this channel, you know, Top 5 3-year-olds, Top 5 horses in training. Now we're going to focus on the Breeders' Cup Classic with this video. Magic is the one who assigns the videos out to all the people that do them, and I hate that I have the Classic this year because, boy, it is super tough. You look back the last 2 years of the Breeders' Cup Classic, and you think about Nick's Go, and I basically kind of knew Nick's Go was going to be my Breeders' Cup Classic pick after he won the Whitney. And you look at Flightline, you knew without a doubt you were going to pick him after he won the Pacific Classic. This year, you just don't have that feeling. It's not that type of year where we've got that horse where you go, oh, yeah, well, that's an easy one, and we go on to the next. It's just not that. But that does make for a lot more excitement from the betting. And, boy, there's really a ton of choices you could make as you go on. So here's my top 5 as of right now. Full disclosure, I really have no idea who I'm going to pick in the Classic at this moment. This is kind of how I have them ranked. Doesn't really mean this is what I'm going to do. But number 5, I put Zandon. I think most years you look at a horse like Zandon and you think probably not going to be that great in a race like the Classic. I mean, this year he's coming in off a win. That was his first win since the Bluegrass way back in last year. I don't know. Maybe he's starting to come together a little bit. He's been pretty good. He's been pretty limited in starts, kind of pointing for this the whole time. He's not really the type that inspires you to say, I think he's going to blow him out and win this race, but he usually is consistent. I mean, usually he'll come with a closing kick. Maybe he's good enough in a Breeders' Cup like this, a Breeders' Cup Classic like this. So I put Zandon at number 5. Number 4 is Go Rocket Ride. Wouldn't be surprised if he won this race. You know, ran really well in the Haskell and thought, dang, that's a real up-and-comer. Really had every chance in the Pacific Classic. I know there was a horse in front of him that was really tough to run down, but just kind of felt like he should go out there and do it and get the job done if he was good enough. Just wasn't quite. So no surprise if he wins this race. I've got him at number 4. I think he's coming along pretty well, but maybe I just prefer others just a bit more. Number 3 on the list is Abarrio, and I think he's going to be the one as we head in, to the race. What do we do with him? I know there are a lot of people that are really in love with him. And look, if you just look at that last race in the Whitney up at Saratoga, that race will win the Breeders' Cup Classic without any doubt. I mean, that was probably the best race we've seen from a horse all year. The problem is we've only really seen him do it to that level once. And I hate to be disrespectful to the horse because he's been good. I mean, he's just been solid, right? I mean, winning down in Florida as a 3-year-old, solid efforts. Even some of his losing efforts, they were okay. They're solid. He's good, not great. That's how you could kind of describe Abarrio. He was great in that last race. Now, the problem is we have not seen him since, and we won't see him since. He has went out to Santa Anita. He is, training over the surface. We'll see what happens for Abarrio. But do you believe that the Whitney is the new him? If it is, and he can reproduce that race, he's going to win. If he kind of goes back to where he normally is, he's not. So that's not even an opinionated statement I just made. That's just factual. You just look at it. But we'll see. I mean, he's the ultimate wild card in the race. Wouldn't be surprised if he wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he's 8th. And that's just the bottom line of that. Number 2 on the list is Arabian Knight. You know, this Bob Baffert trainee early in the year. He won the Southwest Stakes at Oaklawn Park. Everybody thought this was the next really big Bob Baffert horse. Of course, he got injured. Things didn't really work out. He came back off the layoff in the Haskell. Really tough ask. Ran a non-threatening 3rd, but then came back and won the Pacific Classic last time out. So he's, obviously doing pretty well. I think he'll show up with a good race. Bob Baffert can win this with 3-year-olds. He's shown it in the past. So I like Arabian Knight. I've got him at number 2. Number 1, I mean, if you're going to rank them, Arcangelo's done the most out of anybody coming into this race. He's been the most consistent. He's consistently put together races that are solid winning races against stakes company. And that's just something that not a lot of other horses have done. And yeah, there are like a Abarrio who's kind of busted that bubble as far as he's probably ran a better race than Arcangelo's ever ran before. But however, he's done it once. His other races weren't close, right? You look at an Arabian Knight, a Go Rocket Ride at their best. They've kind of raised that level to where Arcangelo is. Arcangelo has been able to do it consistently each and every time here since breaking the maiden. So Arcangelo number one for me. I really don't know at the end of the day if that's going to be the horse I'm going to bet on, but I think you have to rank him number one going in to the Classic as of right now. So, all right, let's recap it. Number 5 is Zandon. Number 4, Go Rocket Ride. Number 3, White Abarrio. Number 2 is going to be Arabian Knight. And number 1, Arcangelo. All right, that'll do it for the first top 5 rankings of the Classic this week. I don't know how much these rankings will change until we finally get the entries and then we know, right? Because I guess there could be changes and it'd be mostly bad news, like a horse fell out of training and is not pointing for it anymore, something like that. But overall, not going to see a lot of change until we actually know who's going to be in the race. So should be a fun Classic this year. I can see any of these 5 horses winning, really, to be completely honest. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Hit that like button if you like it. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And we'll see you right back here next week for a new Top 5.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track. It's Breeders' Cup season and we've got wall-to-wall coverage of the World Championships. Subscribe to YouTube.com/RacingDudes right now. Click the notification bell. You never want to miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.